Hello, Janesville. My name is Kara Blue, and I'm the business librarian at Hedberg Public Library. And I'm here today with Ken Wundrow. He is co-chair of the Madison chapter of SCORE, and he also is chair of the seminar committee with that organization. So these are volunteers who have mostly retired from their business careers, some active, still actively owning their own businesses, who are helping new business owners and startups get through the problems that exist with most or all startups. So thank you, Ken, for being here. Let's start with, what is your specific background and involvement in SCORE?
I've had kind of run two careers simultaneously. I started out as a public school teacher, seventh grade math. I did that for 25 years, and while I was doing that teaching career, I developed a tax practice that I ran from my home office. I did tax planning for my clients, and after about 12 years of doing that, I was approached by a firm in Madison that was doing tax planning and investment planning, and they wanted to purchase my business. That time I sold the business, but I also sold myself in with that business. I spent the last 20 years working for that firm as a tax planner and investment planner with about 600 clients. And then I also served as their financial manager, working with the reps on client service and training. And in 2017, I stepped away from that, decided it was time to retire. And I was approached by SCORE. SCORE laid out what they did and how they did that, and it was a perfect fit for me. I was a little afraid in going into retirement that I would lose my purpose, and SCORE has given me a whole renewed purpose.
Great, thank you. So understanding that this year has been a bit different so far, how is Madison SCORE still planning to do seminars and workshops for clients and interested business owners this year?
Interesting is an understatement. March 15th, when everything kind of closed down, we were told by National that we could no longer do face-to-face meetings. The offices where we presented our seminars and our workshops was closed down to everyone. So we knew that we had to go virtual. We started easy by setting up our clients to do Zoom meetings. So we started getting involved with the virtual. We then started working on how we were going to present those webinars virtually. It's a huge difference when you have an audience sitting in front of you and you can interact with them and they can ask questions and carry the conversation whatever direction it needs to go, as opposed to when you're in this kind of setting. We have to just trust that they're following along with us and then put breaks in to kind of talk to them. But we've worked out a plan, and we've now presented, I think, 4 different seminars in the last few months. And we're looking forward to kind of on the way going forward that this might become more the trend than going back to face-to-face. We would like eventually to do both face-to-face when the pandemic is lifted. But for now, we're going to continue virtual.
And what are some of the topics of those seminars? What do you cover?
We have a Going Into Business series. Currently, it's a 2-part series. We offered that. We've been trying to offer that every month. We're looking at revamping that and kind of breaking it up into more sections so we can be more deliberate with the clientele that's coming into it. Some of our clients will come in, they're in the dream stage. Others are all the way up to the idea stage. Still others have already started their business. They're open, but they need help with the growth part of it and the marketing. So we're going to try to target different groups with that program. Now that we're going virtual, it's a little bit easier to do that. We also have several financial seminars that we repeat during the course of the year. We just got done with one of those this morning. And in there, we go through, break down a financial statement and the different ratios that a business uses to measure themselves. Going forward, we're looking at some tax issue style webinar to look at the issues surrounding the COVID loans that went out, the change in the laws that have occurred in the last 2 years, and help businesses manipulate that whole setting. And then the last one that's really our big focus right now is we're going to put on a fairly large workshop. At this time, it's still planned to be virtual. If we're lifted, we may do that face-to-face. It's a women's workshop, and we're looking at specifically women entrepreneurs and some of the difficulties that they face in juggling their personal lives with their careers with starting up a business. We're going to have a whole wealth of different breakout sessions in there and different speakers. And we're looking to do that in late October, right now, tentatively around October 22nd. So I've been working on that committee, and we have several people working in there with us. We have some really dynamic female speakers that are going to come in and help us lead it.
Where's the best place for someone interested in that seminar or any of the others to locate that and figure out how to register and find more information?
We use several sources. We have a webpage at www.madison.score.org. We also have a Facebook page where we will share that information on. We utilize Constant Contact to maintain a client list of all of our outside resources, our clients, and our sponsors. And then we encourage them when we put that registration out to invite friends into that. And then we use external sources, just as you are right here in the Hedberg Library. We also use the Chambers of Commerce in a lot of the different cities, and we interface with them and try to get the word out through them when these seminars are coming up.
Great, thank you. How is SCORE different from other similar consulting style services that are out there for small business owners and startups?
I think most of the consulting services that are out there, if you find them, are either set up on a membership organization or they're set up as fee-based consulting firms. We are sponsored by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. We receive a grant from our national program, which receives the money from SBA. So our services are completely free to anyone who would want to contact us. Those services are repeat services. So if I were working with you as a startup company, we would mentor through a session, answer your questions. You could call me as often as you wanted to sit down with me, and we'd continue that mentoring process going forward. So I think that sets us apart alone. The second one is that we are geared specifically, well, I shouldn't say specifically, we're geared towards retired professionals. So we're looking actively to recruit professionals who are coming out of a career that have a skill set that would help someone starting a business. A lot of our volunteers at some point in their life had started a business or sold a business or bought a business. So they bring that expertise along with whatever their industry career expertise was. When I say we aim towards them, we never shut out someone who is currently working or has their own business who wants to do that mentoring. In fact, we encourage that style of mentoring.
About how many mentors are there in the Madison SCORE network?
The Madison SCORE network currently has 52 members in it. The degree of involvement will range from some who are working with one or two companies, all the way up to, I'll take myself as an example. I've been with the organization for 2 years. Because of my tax background, a lot of the questions that come in from businesses at the very beginning is how to set up their entity, what entity to choose, and what are the tax issues. So I'm called in quite often. I may start the mentoring process with them and then hand them off to someone who is more specific to the business they're trying to start. So in my case, I've already dealt with as many as 50 different startup businesses. I probably regularly still work with about a dozen.
Okay. Thank you. What advice do you almost always give a startup business or a new business?
I think the first thing I always tell them is never to lose sight of their dream. If they've come to me and they've formulated their idea and they're trying to start up, I remind them that it's important to always stay focused on what it was they wanted to become. It's not so much what a business does, but why does the business do that? We all have multitudes of reasons why we would want to start up a business. Keeping them focused on that reminds them of what it is that's important and what they're trying to do. The other issue that I always raise with all of my startup businesses is that you can't do all of these steps at once. Sometimes resources aren't enough to do them all at once. Sometimes you're one person. You can't do that many things at one time. The other one is that we can't just dive in and think that we're going to support ourselves. All too often, those businesses fail because they overspend either on time or on money. So I tell them again, prioritize what comes first, what comes next, and check those off as you reach them. So have a timeline for your business.
Thank you. Is there anything, all right, by the way, I'm banking all this information in case I ever start my own business.
I would be happy to mentor you.
Is there anything you would like to add that I didn't ask about?
Just that as a member of SCORE, we are always out looking for new volunteers who can bring fresh ideas and different looks, different industries into our skill set. At the same time, while we're looking for referrals out to other people who are trying to start a business and are kind of floundering around out there or a little bit worried about something, to remind them that we exist. So the more we can get the word out to both sides, if someone is watching this and they feel like their purpose would be to share those things that they learned in their careers, please contact the local SCORE office and we'll set you up into the volunteer process.
Thank you, Ken, for sharing your SCORE involvement and the very important information about SCORE services to our viewers today in the Janesville area. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Please remember that business services at Hedberg Public Library are about helping you find information and resources, not just from our books and research databases and materials, but also from the very informed individuals and groups in our area. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.